This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's get right into it. All right, so Meek Thee Stallion is still using the Tory thing to keep things relevant out here. Okay, and she really doesn't need it. She can rap. She puts out good music. I don't know why it keeps coming back to this. I wouldn't even speak about this anymore. But she's saying now, oh, the reason I really kept quiet, which she's... If you guys can just go back and listen to her first live talking about Tory, she contradicts herself time after time. Now she says Tory paid us to keep quiet right after this, when in the beginning she says, I didn't say anything because I was in love with Tory and I didn't want him to get in trouble. She has a different story every time. And, you know, I think, you know, like, sure, we could say Tory did wrong, yes, but I don't need to be lied to by people who claim to be the victim, you know? Like, just tell the truth, and that's that, both of them. I feel like everybody in that car has a little bit of guilt to share, probably some more than others. Probably Tory is the man, and probably should have diffused everything, obviously. So yeah, he can get more of the blame. He even says that, hey, the story's kind of capped, but I wish things went down differently. You know, like, I'm sure he wishes he could redo that night. But, you know, everybody was under the influence. Nobody was thinking properly. And I feel that contributed to everything that happened. But the way they keep dragging it out is actually going to just go against everybody. Because everybody that's looking on to the situation and having to read this stuff, it's like, hey, I really don't care anymore. You know, I don't want to hear about this stuff anymore. And in fact, you're cloud chasing off of it. You know, anybody who does it, Tory, everything. Tory said his piece. Probably shouldn't hear anything more about it anymore, right? He's kind of moved on. He's traveling the world and doing the radio thing. He's doing all that kind of stuff, you know? Anyways, then we got Meek Mill. Okay, so people are trying to say that he's banned from... It says Meek Mill banned from North Philly after urging rappers to stop beefing. What really happened is he started it up with some guy named what's his name? Philly artist Poundside Pop. Okay, so he's a Philly artist on the rise. And Meek Mill, he reacted to somebody Meek Mill said, but this is what Meek started up yesterday, and I knew this was going to be a little weird. He said, I'll get all the main big artists in Philly a deal if they put them bodies behind them and squash the beefs I hear about. Got some hot young bulls from my city, and they all beefing. But he was beefing a lot in the beginning too. And he says, and that's just an idea, but I'll push through with my city if y'all make it a thing. I mean, really what Meek could do is he could start a Philly blog. This is what I would do for him. I would start a Philly blog and feature artists on it, but if you not promote issues within the city, make it about the music and try to unite everybody through that. I think he should get creative with it. And this, you know, he's actually good with, what is it, hip hop since 1987? Is that the name of the blog there? I used to know the guy who ran that, Rick or something. If he were to team up with them and kind of maybe buy in on the blog, they could make it something really special, you know? And I think that would be the best way to tackle this. He says, and they get the most attention when they beef. And then he said, and everybody gets the most attention when they're beefing. That's why people beef. People like controversy, period. Why are people watching CNN and everything all the time in the past 4 years? Because they didn't like who was in position. And they loved that they were championing him to get out, you know? And then he says, and when I say bodies, I mean friends or family you lost. Okay, so what happened yesterday is he said, or the day before that, he said, pretty soon everybody's going to have to pick a side. Too much real stuff going on. Poundside Pop says, it's time for you to pick a side. Are you a zoo or not? Meek Mill says, everybody got my number. 2, you young bulls be losing your minds off them substances, I gotta say. But he did too. He did too, okay? He admits that he was a pill-popping animal when he was with Nicki Minaj. And then he says, I ain't picking no side. 18th Street. Letting that walk hit you too hard. And then he says, everybody got my number, blah, blah, blah. 18th Castro and say no more what? I'm not Zoo. And then Poundside Pop said, SNM Flocks. I don't know what, now we're getting into Philly talk here, I guess. And then it says, Meek, the first dude from South North. I don't know. And he says, I'm just letting the people speak. Philly. And he calls it Philadelphia. Man, they just need to. Why is Meek started out with one thing, a piece, and it ended up in a beef? I mean, I don't know, man. Come on, Meek. Stay off of Twitter. Just try to put positive things out there. I think that's a good idea he had. I don't think he's going to be able to give all those guys deals. But I do think that if he started a blog to push attention towards them, and maybe, I don't know if he really felt like he's going to push somebody. I mean, O'Malley doesn't even have a deal, really. And O'Malley was a rapper, You got to look around. Who's Meek Mill put on from the city? Nobody, So, and I'm not saying that in a negative. I like Meek. I like his music. I just think that he's too emotional on Twitter sometimes. But I think if he started a blog and teamed up with that Philly blog that's there, Hip Hop 1987, something like that, they could do some great things together, because those are good guys. I met them before. They're very good guys. Then we got Benny the Butcher. He's okay. He boarded a jet. He was back to New York. Wendy Williams tried to play him on her show today, and I don't know why, but he did. There's two ways to look at this. One way, Benny the Butcher got on Hot Topics on Wendy Williams, and it's good promotion. Second, kind of hating, she was like, I don't believe he owns a Rolls Royce. Now, obviously, he's in Houston. It's not his Rolls Royce. He's in a friend's Rolls Royce. I don't know why Benny the Butcher was in a Rolls Royce in a Walmart in Houston with his jewelry out. People are hungry out here. And, he got caught slipping, and I'm so glad. We need Benny the Butcher. I'm so glad that he survived. And he's still here to stay, because he's very talented. I love his music. And he really respects the art of the culture, which is kind of lost with a lot of rappers now. And him and the whole Griselda are just like so needed just to have a standard in this culture, So let's just say, I'm glad he's good. He's going back home. And lesson learned, I'm glad he's here I'm sure he was, the dudes were they didn't know obviously what they were doing. They ran up on him and hesitated, and then they peeled off with nothing, So it is what it is, I'm glad Benny's good, though. Send him some positive vibes, guys. It's JordanTower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, and I will check you guys on the next one. And I just want you guys to stay good out here. Make sure you keep all that bad energy that's on the news away from you. I mean, it seems like you can't get away from political news nowadays or anything, because, you get the shade room and everybody wanting to get in on it, because everybody's so triggered by it now. But you got to remove yourself and get into a different zone and not let it affect you. It's hard, okay? It's hard to not let people that are your neighbors affect you, but if you let it affect you, you're inviting that energy into your life. And I've learned a lot in the past to just let it go, and just not deal with it, because if you allow other people to take your energy from you, then you're tired later, and you don't have the energy to do this and that. I'm sure you've all experienced that. Being mad at somebody and like trying to get back at them and try to prove your point takes a lot of energy. All these back and forth that people try to have you. If you say your opinion on social media, there's always going to be someone that doesn't agree with you and tries to convince you that they're right, or they just go right to name calling. And to go to that and engage with that, right? To engage with somebody like that is just draining of your energy. So it's very important to protect your energy and stay away from that. That's the best advice I can give you, because I have to give it to myself all the time. There's plenty of things that trigger me all the time. I mean, I have a neighbor that lets his dog poop right on my lawn. even though I have signs there. He scoffs at the sign. I have cameras. I heard him this morning say, "This guy's miserable. Look, he has signs that no, he doesn't want people taking a leak on his lawn." Yeah, I don't want my lawn to die. It's, you know what I mean? Like, is that a crime? You know, like, but you know, this guy is obsessed with me. That's how I have to look at it. You know what? That's a compliment. Okay. He might say, I've never talked to him before in my life. I don't even know the guy's name. Okay. But I've only said hi. I'm a respectful neighbor. Well, you know, he has his own thoughts about me and he doesn't like me, but that's his problem. It's not mine. I'll check you guys in the next one. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Peace.